Hello and welcome to the Hillcrest Football Review. Coach Mitchell started out the season 3-0, 1-0 in the region, but met a very disciplined, very well-coached, very smart Vestavia team this past Friday.
Yeah, no question. We knew that going in, and you know what, the recipe for us being very successful, we threw all that out the window, and we found every way possible to lose a game, and we got exactly what we deserved, a good butt whipping. And when we play the way that we played, you can expect teams in our region to do exactly what happened. I don't have a real good answer for why or what, but what we will do is, well, that one's got to be flushed, and I mean, heck, you got one just as good coming at you. So it's just kind of the nature of our region, and that one's got to be put behind us, and we've got to learn from the mistakes we made and get ready to go.
All right, yeah. Agree with everything you said. That sounds great. All right, let's take a look at the action. Let's start out here with the first quarter.
Yep. Just a number that I'll throw out at you. In the first 14 offensive snaps we had in the game, we had 5 penalties and 1 turnover, so 6 out of 14.
And the snap over the head too.
Yes, correct. That's just, we've talked about how clean our football team's been, and we threw all that out the window, and misfit the first play of the game on a run game fit, and they're so unconventional, so different in what they do, come at you in so many different ways, and we were really bad on both sides of the ball. Thought we got our feet a little bit on the ground right here on defense for a few downs, and to their credit, they ended up putting this thing in the end zone, and run a little boot pass right here. We cover it really, really well. We get them in a long down situation, and we just don't get them off the field right here. I felt like we had a chance in this open drive to get them off the field even after a big first play. It's a 4th down situation right there, and they get it. We had them in 4th down situations a couple of times. Again, just a misfit on a run game, just straight power football, and they jump out to a 7-0 lead right off the bat. And that didn't shock me. When we thought they would throw some haymakers, and what we need to do now is answer the bell, and hadn't seen them kick the ball in the end zone all year long, and first thing they do is kick one in the end zone, and then just disaster. I mean, this is a perfect example of how to lose ball games. It was, yep, perfect example of how to lose ball games. We get a bad snap or a mistimed snap on first down. They do a great job on the second down play of covering it. And, we get a good run here on 3rd and long, and then we end up getting a holding call right there that they decline it. So 3 and out. And one of those was an 8-yard loss on an inadvertent snap, and I thought Gunner hit a couple of really good punts early on, and after that, not so good. But it's another one of those plays, man. We're right there. Balls just drop perfectly into the basket. And they do a really good job of getting the ball where they're supposed to be, and missed tackles, just getting beat at our own game, being out physical, and that's something that you typically don't see with us. Good defense right here. We do a good job of getting the ball stopped, and in our league, you better get some red zone stops. You better force people to field goals and not touchdowns, and we just don't do that there. So, 14-0. They've had 2 possessions, 2 scores. We've had 1 possession, and disaster on our 1 possession, and it's going to continue right here. The first 3 times we had the football, it started in false start penalties. So we're 1st and 15 or 1st and 18 on the first one, 1st and 15 on these next 2 possessions, and you're not going to beat the Hillcrest 6-year-old youth team doing that. It's just, you can't win football games with a number of mistakes that we had, and you can chalk that up to a lot of different positions. We played as badly as we could play, and again, just a booming punt right here. I thought this was maybe Gunner's best punt of the year. We desperately need to get a stop here on, after going down 14-0, and we just don't do it. These guys go right back to work, and I don't know, man. It's just for a couple of years in a row, for whatever reason, they seem to have our number. And, it's one of those deals where you just about rather play Chicago Bears and these guys. And it's just,
Let me ask you a
it's a
question.
hard.
When you're out there, all right, like so with all the eye candy, all the motion,
Yep.
all the movement, does it kind of freeze the players in their shoes so
Absolutely.
they can't really react as much with their
100%.
athletic ability because of it?
100%. That's why they do it, and it's a very difficult deal to handle. And there's so much misdirection, so much counter stuff that they do, and they're just so good at it, and it slows you down on defense, and it really kind of paralyzes. So we miss a tackle there on a hitch route. Like I say, man, if it could go wrong, it goes wrong for us, and we don't the procedure play to start this drive's not on there, but it's we start another drive at 1st and 15 after another false start on first down, and fumble snap here. Good gracious! I mean, just play after play after
It's
play.
just definitely a when it rains it pours
You better
type
believe
night.
it. We run the scat option. We move when we don't hurt ourselves. We had success moving the football in some ways, and just a fumble right here, ball hits us dead in the hands, and we just drop it and give it to them. Already down 21-0, and we give them a turnover, on their end of the field. And, thank goodness our defense does stiffen up a little bit right here. And we don't allow this score. But, we've dug ourselves such a massive hole. And like I say, we've snapped the ball 14 times, 6 penalties, and 1 turnover in 14 plays. And just you cannot be any worse than we were. It just very fortunate that it wasn't 68-0. But that's the end of the first quarter. Like I say, getting our tail kicked, and they're doing a really good job of doing what they do, and good pressure here by AJ, and we end up forcing these guys to turn the ball over to us down here on the short end, but just not nearly enough on defense, not nearly enough stops, and offensively, we just so inconsistent, so many mistakes. So
seems like they picked up so many 3rd and long.
Yeah, they did. They sure did. And we were not able to do the things that we've been so good at, and that's just play clean football and play mistake-free football. And I think you see our ability when when the ball is snapped on time. We don't have false starts. I mean, hit Caden right there on a good dig route. It's just one of those deals where when we execute, and like I say, we don't have to be a ton better than somebody, but we've got to give ourselves a chance, And when we did that, I think there's a 14-play drive. This may be it that ends up in a field goal, if I'm not mistaken. But just a really good drive right here, and very disciplined drive without a lot of mistakes. And we missed one right here, boy. Double pass, and Gunner's got to do a better job of blocking right there. We missed a touchdown, and I think we did. We end up getting it right here on the screen.
Right, yeah.
We'll come right back with the screen to Jacoby, and he does a great job of getting it in the end zone for us. And like I say, I mean I think it was a 14-play drive, if I'm not mistaken. And
signs of life.
Yeah, for sure. But you're down 21-7, so I mean you're in kind of desperation mode. You've got to have some stops. Boy, Elijah Miller again and again and again, just could not ask for him to be better. I mean, he's kicked the ball where we need it. We get a big stop here on 2nd down, and like you say, I mean, it's just 3rd down conversions. We just did not do a real good job of getting off the field consistently on defense, and give them a lot of credit. They did the things that it takes to win ball games, and we do get a stop. And again, man, right here, you're thinking, 21-7, let's get it and go score.
Good field position.
Absolutely. We, for whatever reason, Caden doesn't feel the punt. Don't have a good answer for that. Stuff that we've done all year long. I mean, punt returns have been such a big play for us, and we let the ball hit the ground and don't field it, But really good run right here, and another first down, ball at midfield, 21-7 ball game. Let's go score and let's see what happens, So run the midline dive right there and get another 5 or 6. And like I say, man, when we stay out of our own way, the production is there. It's just we just continue to self-inflict gunshot wounds to us, and no team's going to overcome that. So,
especially a disciplined team like
absolutely,
Vestavia. You
absolutely.
give them opportunities, they're going to take advantage.
Yep. Run a little reverse right here, Jacoby, and another really good gain. And like I say, I mean, this is a 21-7 ball game at this point in time. Let's go score and let's get ourselves back into this deal. And, got the ball down inside the 20 at this point. Ball should have gone to Jacoby right here. Doesn't. Just poor quarterback play by Jordan. And, they make a big play on 3rd and 5 right there. And, we end up with a field goal instead of a touchdown, but again, another 40-yard plus field goal for Elijah. That's 2 in 2 weeks, and he gives you a chance to score really, from really 50 in. We feel pretty good about giving him a shot. Thought our kick coverage was really good. We consistently held them inside the 25 on kick coverage. One of the few things that we did very well. But here again, you just see them, what they're so good at is misdirection counter.
Yep.
And then the play action passes that come off of it. Again, the guys covered pretty dang good right there, and the ball's just thrown perfectly. And a lot of that, like I say, is a credit to them. And they just another big time gadget play, a wheel out of the backfield off a bootleg. You just don't see that very often. And I thought we had defended it okay. Still hits for about a 20-yard gain. So if we would have scored on the previous drive, you're talking about a 1-score game, and we end up getting a field goal, and then, man, to their credit, they just they come right back down the field and they answer the field goal, and what great teams do. We go with an all-out pressure right here, and then we just don't tackle. We got the guy at the 10-yard line, don't tackle him, and he basically runs over us and punches this thing out to a 28-10 lead. So, just not good football in any facet of us from Friday night, other than Elijah Miller is about the only guy that I could really say played really well.
He sure did.
And unfortunately, that's going to be a recipe for not winning games.
Can't depend on your kicker to win the game for you.
At all,
Well, he's important, but you can't depend on it.
Yep. Again, we get to football, we go back to work, and we're gaining yards and staying out of our own way, and then we'll end up with some bonehead stuff that that just cost us, and drive killers. And when you get procedure calls, you get holding penalty calls, you get inadvertent snaps. It's just not ever going to end well. Really good catch right there by Jalen Cook. Comes up with, he had a couple of big catches for us in this game, and good to see him kind of get in the mix and go back to the screen. And I felt like we had a really good drive going here. Time just ran out on us, and right here was 4th down. We just need a first down to kind of keep it going, and Jordan just misses Jamarian Williams on a quick out route right there. 28-7 at half, and 28-10 at half, and not a good feeling in that locker room.
All right, let's move on to the second half now, Coach.
Yeah, we get the ball, and a lot of our conversations, what can we do with this opening drive, and we get it to a 3rd and 2 situation right here. We're going to run a quarterback sweep, and we just miss a linebacker.
To me, this really felt like a big turning point.
Yep, it was. We're very comfortable in 3rd and 2, and then our punt game just completely imploded on us. Gunner with a really, really bad punt here gives them the ball on the plus side of the 50, and they don't need any help at all. I mean, they're plenty good enough not to give them a short field. And like I say, man, I give them so much credit. They beat us at what we try to pride ourselves on. That's toughness and physicality. And heck, they were just more physical than we were. They were more disciplined than we were, and it cost us in a big, big way.
Do you think that the mental mistakes come from having to think so hard because there's so much that they're having to look at?
Yeah, it is. It's a combination of that and the variety of things that they do, and it's just so unconventional from what you see week to week. And, you got players that struggle with that, and just being able to change gears and understand from week to week what you're getting. And, they're so different in what they do that they just cause you a lot of problems. Great job on their kick coverage here. And, we're now in just a fight for our life. We're playing for pride at this point. And, we're under reverse right here, and Austin Cherry had a good ball game for us, gets a carry there and a big first down for us, and then we get a holding call. So it takes a good first down off the board, and you're not going to overcome 2nd and 15 against these guys. You're just not going to do it. So we end up punting, and again, just a total disaster here on our punt protection and punter. Just bad football, and you give them the ball at the 25-yard line, and you're going to get just what you deserve, and we did. And Joe's got to do a lot better job there of coming and getting that. He's kind of in a bind there as a DB. You're trying to stay in coverage and trying to keep the ball in front of you, and kind of a no-win situation for him. But they run a little counter jet sweep here and on return motion. I will say this: I thought our defense played hard. Now we got beat up and we got pushed around, but one thing I do feel like that we took out of this, that's a big 4th down stop. So easy right there just to give in and let them let it get out of hand. And I felt like if nothing else, our guys on defense continued to compete and try to the best of their ability, even when the scoreboard was not going to be in our favor. We knew that. So, but here a really big run by Jacoby, and there again, just a testament to what we can do when we stay out of our own way. Another really good run here by Jordan Shambly on the quarterback ISO and moving the football with good success. And as you see, there's a drive killer right there, and you get procedure call, and Jordan does a great job right there beating the edge defender and getting us a big first down, and kind of extends a drive, overcoming a penalty. Obviously those are hard things to do. You're just not going to make a living doing that. But right here, run a little boot pass, and a great throw by Jordan, and a great catch by Jalen Cook. Just a really, really good play. And, we end up punching this thing in down here. Not that we blocked it exceptionally well, but Jacoby gets us close, and then Jordan gets in there with a quarterback sneak on second effort. And, there comes a point in time where you're playing for pride, and this is one of them. And good job of Jalen staying alert here on a 2-point play, and gets us to, I think, a 17-point lead. Is that right? Something like that.
16, yeah.
16-point lead, 2-score game. The 2-point conversion there got it to a two-score game. So, we're still in the fight, even with as bad as we played, and trying to get this thing back to at least where we'll have a chance. And, they did what they did all night long, man. They just they had long, sustained drives, and gets it into the 4th quarter. In striking distance, 2-score game, but it was certainly a mountain to climb, and we just didn't get them off the field, hardly any at all, and just didn't give ourselves a chance. Through 3 quarters, they had dominated about every facet of the game, and you see just another big run here ripped off, and they got us on some alignment stuff that we didn't adjust to very well, and we couldn't have been much worse. So again, just pounding it right at us a little bit here, and I think in the 4th quarter they did a great job of slowing the game down and really burning the clock. They took a lot of time off the clock, and didn't always score, but they burned that clock to where we just didn't have much time at all to even have a hope and a prayer, and just an unbelievable throw and catch right there. Their guys performed at a super high level.
I'm going to guess that it's really hard to simulate this offense for your scout team in practice.
Coach Evans and I both talked about that before the game, and I feel like they share the same pain in trying to prepare for us, because we're very different offensively in a lot of the things we do. And it's one of those deals where, both sides, I think, were glad this one was over and get a chance to move on. And another big tribute to our defense there. That's twice we've had 2 big red zone stops. And then, just the icing on the cake there, we fumbled the ball at the 1-yard line, very similar to the way we did at Hewitt last year, going in to cut that to a 1-score game. And you send your defense right back out there when they just had to come up with a big stop. And, I thought we competed our tail off even in a tough situation, and they stick that one in and make it 41 to 18, 42 to 18, I guess, and you know the end is in sight here. I mean, it just by how much are you going to get beat, and I did think our offense did a good job putting another scoring drive together, and we get a huge kickoff return right here by Jalen Cook. Another big special team play for us, and get the ball across midfield, and when you get a chance to get in their territory and start set up shop there, it makes it a lot easier. Bad throw here by Jordan. He's got Austin wide open right there and misses him, but comes back and makes a big throw right here. We catch him in a blitz right here and hit Austin on a quick slant, and quick strike, quick answer, and gets it to 42-24, and that's where it ended. I guess we've got a few more highlights here. It's our 2-point play here. Went not successful. And then, like I say, I mean, we're just kind of playing for the end of the game at this point in time. Try onside kick, don't get it. And, I think they run the clock out from here.
Right. And the thing about it is, to me, like you've said multiple times throughout this video as we've been watching, the team didn't give up.
No.
They kept playing hard, even through all the mistakes, all the mental errors, the turnovers. They did not give up. They kept playing till the end.
And we put our defense out there just so much on mistakes that we made on the offensive side of the ball. And even right here, I mean, the game's over, and our defense fought their tail off to keep it. Just a pride factor there to keep it out of the end zone. And I guess if there's anything you can take out of it as a positive is feel like your kids didn't quit, but like I say, we got exactly what we deserved, which is an old-fashioned tail whipping, and we've got to quickly put that behind us because we've got an outstanding football team in Hewitt coming in here, and we got to get ready to go.
No rest for the weary, huh?
Not at all. We've talked about it a lot. September's going to be a big month for us. We're 1-1 right now, and we need to find a way to win another couple of games.
Opportunities ahead, though. All is not lost.
No doubt about it.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach.
You bet.
All right.